All right, welcome into another edition of the Tommy Mag podcast here on 1010XL's podcast platform and also on Facebook Live. And glad you could join us right here on the show. Of course, we're talking the hometown team. I've made some notes. It feels like they're the same notes over and over and over again. Gosh dang, another embarrassing loss. 40-14. Ravens are a good team. You know, they're a good team. You can't say they're not. They're going to be fun to watch if they get in. But it was an embarrassing loss. I mean, our offense was just terrible. Our defense was terrible. 5 sacks, 7 more hits on Gardner. That's 12. They probably add another few to those since they probably missed them on the official stat sheet. No Calais Campbell for the Ravens. I mean, it's just, Des Bryant gets a touchdown. It's his first one back since, coming back. And I tell you what, so all right, so everyone's excited. Jets beat the Rams. How did that happen? Why didn't they tank? Oh my gosh. Yeah, tanking. Look, I said it online. I'll say it again. That's a loser's mentality. You can't. I know it's different for fans and media. I'm not saying you're losers. I'm not saying that. But for a team, you can't. Heck no. We're trying to win every single game. Why did Cincy tank last night? I mean, why wouldn't they want a better draft selection than number 3 where they sit now? We're going to talk about that a little bit later. This whole tanking thing. It's so funny with the local sports media. It's like they get so excited. Give up everything. Don't let the coach make the decision. Pull the starting running back. They don't let any of the starters play. It's like the weather people when the storm's coming. Ooh, look at that big storm. It's brewing. It's going to be magnificent. I mean, it's so funny. It's so funny to watch. I tell you, unbelievable. But we will get into that. Of course, playoffs looming right around the corner. I love this time of year. This is where the teams separate. This is men versus the boys are. They separate from each other, and you got to stop. I know it's a passing league. I know you got to throw it around, but you got to stop the run and you got to run the football in the playoffs, and we'll see who can get that. But the Jags, terrible overall. Run defense, he gave up 4.3 yards a carry. Dobbins and Edwards, 4.6, 4.7. Look, Lamar Jackson didn't hurt you with his feet. You held him to 3.5 yards a carry. That's a win. But the other guys, you couldn't stop at all. Third down, Jags, you're 5 for 12. Not bad, I guess. Close to 50%, so that's pretty decent. And then the Ravens were 8 for 12. So that's pretty awful. Got the Bears coming up this weekend and the Indianapolis Colts for the final game of the year. Look, the Bears, they're beatable. They're beatable. There's no question about that. They're up and down. We'll see. I'm hoping my friend comes out. So a good friend of mine from high school, he went to a different high school. He played ball at Purdue, got drafted by the Bills, got hurt early and didn't play in the NFL. But his son is Cole Kmet for the Bears. So that's pretty cool. First or second round pick for the Bears. Is one of their tight ends. He's been coming on as of late, so that's cool, man. I'm looking forward to. Hopefully, his mom and dad can come down. I haven't seen them since forever ago, that's for sure. But how cool is that? But yeah. So look, I don't want to go through the game. Stunk. It was embarrassing. It's so embarrassing. I'm so sick of it all. It's like it's so aggravating. It's so aggravating. And then now it's let's hang on, and hopefully we get the number 1 pick in the draft. You sit with the number 1 pick as it stands today with 2 games left. Knowing this team, they'll beat the Bears, and you guys will all go cuckoo again. I don't know. It's gonna be an interesting end for the year. Some sad news in the NFL. I played against Kevin Green. Not obviously he was a defender, but Kevin Green passes away at the age of 58. Third in NFL history in sacks. He was a great 3-4 outside backer. Remember him with Carolina, obviously, but played for a few different teams, including the Rams. Great player. Great player. 58, man. That's 8 years from now. That's scary. That's scary. We wish we condolences, obviously. Anybody that passes. That's a tough thing, no doubt about that. The Jags find out that no Pro Bowlers will be coming off of this year's roster. Look, when you have one win, it's hard to make a Pro Bowl. No matter what kind of year you have. Look, James Robinson, should he have? Yeah, he should have. Miles Jack, yes, Pro Bowl year for sure. I think Schobert's coming on, but look, when you give up those yards per carry, I'm sorry, that's a lot of that's on the D line, a lot of that's on the middle backer. They just need to clean it up. Just clean it up. Keep the good players. Get rid of the average players. Get rid of the coaches. I'm sorry. God bless you all. Merry Christmas to all the coaching staff, and to everybody, of course. But it's time. It's just there's no. I pray that Shad Khan doesn't come back in January or February stating we're keeping Doug Marrone. I'm going to hold off on my thoughts on that because it's Christmas week, but that can't happen. And I think there are reports starting to trickle out that they may not, that he'll be gone. It sucks. He tried. He's a good guy. They like him. I get it, but it's not working, and you can't keep doing it over and over and over and over again. You can't do it. You can't do it. So, nonetheless, we'll see how the end of the year goes. Hey, by the way, I do want to. I got to call good when I see good. Dwayne Smoot continues to come on. I know it's a contract year. I'm sure he's motivated, but so what? He's still giving it, and he's still producing. I think he had a sack, a couple pressures, a couple hits. You got to like that, At least he's being productive. Hey, but, giving it your best is one thing. Giving your best and producing is a totally different thing. But nonetheless, he continues to make some plays. We'll see how he can do it against the Bears. All right, overall in the playoffs, Buffalo, KC, Green Bay, they clinched their division. They're in. How about this? No one's been eliminated in the NFC East. I mean, and the it's 4-8. I think is the Redskins have, or the Washington team has the maybe it's Philly. They have the lowest record of 4-8. I mean, that's just unbelievable. What a crazy year! What a crazy year! Don't even get me started on the bowl games. I don't want to play. I'm opting out because it's a crappy bowl. And then you got bowls taking like 3-8 teams. You're like, what? No, you can't. You don't go to a bowl game when you have a losing record. I don't care what year it is. I don't care if the sky fell down. Just whatever. You don't. You got 9-2 Army that's looking for a bowl game. Any takers? I don't know. Unbelievable season that we are living in. Do want to bring up the Eagles. Carson Wentz, come on, man. You had your chance. You're not playing well. Let the kid play. Don't make demands. Who are you to make a demand? I don't care how much they paid you. You haven't worked out. You haven't won them a Super Bowl. Nick Foles did. Let Jalen Hurts play and let's see what happens. And I love the national pundits. He deserves everything. No, he deserves another chance to start. That's what Jalen Hurts has earned. Another chance, and I hope he keeps playing well. I like the kid. Would you get him? What round? Yeah, exactly. Nonetheless, that's an interesting story up in Philadelphia. So you look at the Jags now with the number 1 pick in the draft, and I know everyone's saying, if I could read that, I would. I got to get this a little bit closer to me. If my man Chad can come in here and bring that, if I could see it. I'll try to look at your questions, but thank you for checking it out. We greatly appreciate it. By the way, I get some comments on the bicep. I gotta tell the truth. So this one always looks good with the shirt on because it's a torn bicep. See that little ball right there? If I picked it up, you wouldn't think it was that cool. I just never got it fixed. I figured it was a flesh wound. I could still do pull-ups and stuff, so it may look like a great bicep, but it's kind of a fake great bicep, if you know what I mean. But I love my guy. Well, He's still hanging in there, which is a good thing. But so here, look, I get fans, I get media. You want Trevor Lawrence, I get it, and he is a great quarterback. Once in a lifetime, I don't know about that, but he is a phenomenal quarterback. Okay, I'm not one. We're not going to tank. Okay, and I don't believe in one player, even the quarterback. Here's my thinking. If out of the first 2 picks, I get the top 1 or 2 left tackles in the game, you can't look. The O-line's got to be replaced. I don't trust Cam Robinson. Juwan Taylor's got issues. They got issues inside. You've got to upgrade the offensive line. Maybe you grab a left tackle that's a free agent that's, going into his 3rd contract, maybe 2nd contract if you get lucky. I don't know who's out there. I don't know yet. We'll look into that as we get this season over with. We'll get into free agency and what's happening around the league. We'll continue to do this show. It's going to be a fun time. I love doing it. But and we will. We'll continue through, free agency and all that kind of stuff, the draft, and I like that process. I want to see these guys still. I like the left tackle out of Notre Dame. I like that kid. He pushes people around. I know they got their butts kicked against Clemson, and the kid, of course, out west, out in Oregon, he's probably the top tackle in the game. Big, strong dude. But you've got to get a left tackle. I don't care who your quarterback. Look, bring in Trevor Lawrence. If you're going to throw 3-step or put him in the shotgun and get it out quick every single time and nobody's going to have a chance to hit him, okay, maybe that works with this offensive line. I don't still think so. But you can't count on these guys anymore. It's over. Unless Cam comes back at a decent price and understands he may not be the guy, but he could be the right I don't know, maybe, but no, they're not. Cam's not your left tackle anymore, and I'm questioning whether Taylor needs to move inside. I don't know. Man, Ngakoue had his way with you. I mean, they just every week. And look, not every week's terrible. The run blocking has been good. You don't have a running back with success like James Robinson has without a decent offensive line that's opening holes. So I give him credit there. But the pass blocking is terrible, and it can, you have spurts of good, you're like, all right, maybe they're coming together, and then you have spurts of terrible, and then you get worked, and then it's like, come on, you got nothing. That's who you have. That's who we're going. What is this insanity? Do the same thing over and over. I don't know. I don't know if they have anybody on the roster to even give them a shot that gives them a chance for an upgrade. But nonetheless, the O-line's got to be fixed. And I don't care who you bring in here as quarterback. If your O-line ain't fixed, he's going to end up being mush. He's going to get hit so many damn times. He's not going to want to do it. The QBs get all the glamour, and they deserve it. But they get the crap kicked out of them week in and week out. And they should, from a defensive side perspective. Yeah, I want to kick the crap out of the QB. And they do. They get smushed. And if they don't feel like that O-line's protecting them, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So, back to my thinking. If we come out with either the 1 or 2 top left tackle and one of the top QBs. Now, I think Justin Fields, I watched some of, that's the third game I watched with him, and I think he's played himself out of the second pick. I believe he has. Now, granted, he can run, he can throw, he can, it's kind of the mix, you're seeing it happening. He's got a good arm. Maybe he can. I'm not taking him number 2. I'm not saying he's not a first rounder. I'm not saying he can't be a great QB, but I am not taking Justin Fields number 2 in this year's draft. I think he's played himself out of it. Who's number 2? Maybe it's the tackle. Is there a skill guy that pops up? You got to let the process, the Senior Bowl, the combines, the workouts. It's all part of the deal. But if we come away with that, then I'm okay. And look, if you get Trevor Lawrence, it's fan. Then get him. Yeah, if you have the number 1 pick in the draft, you'd be foolish not to take Trevor Lawrence. But to just, and look, teams aren't publicly going to say we're tanking, Or you look at Cincinnati, man, they came to play last night. Now they got the 3rd pick in the draft. They got their QB, Joe Burrow, who's on IR, of course, with the injured knee, terribly injured knee. Which brings me to, like let's compare Joe to Trevor coming out of college. Trevor's been phenomenal, no doubt. Very tough to defend in college. He plays against the ACC. No disrespect, my BC Eagles are in the ACC. But they're not the SEC. Okay? And if you don't think the SEC is the best conference top to bottom, you're biased. And I'm not from the South. I'm not an SEC guy. I love it down here, and I married a Southern belle, so, don't be mad at me. From Mobile, too, deep South. Uh-oh. Anyway, I don't have any kind of affiliation with the SEC, but when you watch them, they're ridiculously talented. And so's Clemson. Look, Clemson, Alabama's going to be a great game. Ohio State, you shouldn't be in it. Neither should Notre Dame. You just got your ass kicked. Why are you even in the damn top 4? But whatever. I don't even want to talk about that. But, look, I don't it is different competition. I'm saying. When Joe Burrow came out, comparative. Now, he's not 6'6". He may not be as fast, but he is very fast and very athletic. I knew he's tough because I'd seen him take hits in the SEC, and not just his senior year, but his junior year as well. So I knew he could handle the rigors, especially being a rookie and dealing with pressure. Now, you look at him, take him. So is Lawrence that much better than Joey Burrow? That's debatable, in my opinion. And Joe Burrow's the real deal. It's too bad he got hurt, but that brings me to my next thing. Look, you could have Trevor. Look what happened to Joe Burrow. Look what happened to him. And that's a devastating knee injury. Will he make it back? I'm sure he'll probably make it back. But at the same time, you never know what can happen. You can't put all your eggs in one basket. I know it's fun. I know it's exciting. I want the Jags to beat the Bears. I want them to beat the Colts. I don't really care about first pick because I've seen. Look, go back in time. Mike Vick. Nobody was going to be able to catch Mike Vick in the pros. He was unbelievable, fast, athletic, could flick it with his left hand, flick it a mile. That guy was everything. And what happened in his second year? Broke his leg. You know how? Getting tackled by the Baltimore Ravens defense. You're like, okay, you see it. It's a different level of play. You go back and look at Mike Ditka with Ricky Williams. Ricky Williams was everything coming out of Texas. Now, granted, different era. They ran the ball more. Gave up his entire draft for him. How did that work out? Remember when Herschel Walker went to Minnesota? They gave up their entire draft for him. How did that work out? Great return guy, but he didn't win them any championships. I know it's fun. If they end up there, great, take the kid. But no, you don't tank. And I'm coming from a player's perspective, I understand. You don't tank, you give it your all, and you try to win the game, and then the chips will fall where they may. If they don't upgrade QB and left tackle, and they don't change that staff, we're going to be talking about this crap again next year, and I hope that is not the case. I do hope you have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, although I think we'll be back next week. We're off Friday. Chad, we're off Friday, yes, but back next week on Tuesday, and we'll recap the Bears game, and we'll look forward to the new year. Thanks for tuning in to the Tommy Mac Podcast right here on Facebook Live. Thank you for checking it out. Oh, can you read that question to me real quick from Zach? Don't score another point this season. That would be the spoken like a true fan, Zach. I get it, buddy. I get it. Bye-bye, Wentz. Yeah, he's gone. That's awesome. All right, guys, thanks so much for tuning in right here on the Tommy Mac Podcast on 1010XL's podcast platform at 1010XL.com. Merry Christmas.